Hi guys, welcome to Nine Links. This is your host Alex. Been out of state, been working on some project, and just got back in town today. Well, late last night actually. So waking up today and see most of my plants need a little bit pruning. They're not very, heavily out of shape, but definitely need some pruning. After, some of them bloomed already. Like orange jasmine here, you see flower here and there. It's not a big bloom, but definitely good bloom, and I can smell the fragrance from here. It's really, really wonderful. Um, as you can see, the neem tree, it's growing pretty big right now. Not too big, but needs some pruning, and also like I said before, we're using neem trees leaves and the to boil in the water, and then later use that boiling neem water, cool it off, dilute it with water, 1 to 1, and then water the plants with that water to kill insects and stuff that's inside the planting pots. It's a more organic way of killing the insects without harming anything else. And as you also see, white champaca is growing really big too and very bushy. So what we're gonna do with the white champaca is gonna prune the top. I'm trying to make the white champaca grow towards the midsection right here and not the bottom section. So it's more of a balloon, but I don't want that balloon to be really big upward because when it comes to winter time, I'm gonna have a hard time carrying it in. And white champaca blooms quite a few already, and but today we're just doing pruning. So yeah, and also looking over here, so you can see dahlia, it's growing really well too. Like I mentioned before, if you compare dahlia growing in the pot compared to the in the soil, the ones in the soil actually, well, one right there, been there for at least 3-4 months now, and still it hasn't grown any bigger than that. So this one in a pot, I didn't use any premium potting mix, just regular topsoil. So it's been doing great so far. All right, let's get to it, and I'm gonna have an assistant, Evan, to come out and help me on this, so I can show you how to accurately prune each one. Going to do a pruning on the plants today. We're not pruning any sweet olives or night blooming jasmine because those are planted in the ground. I want them to grow as healthy as possible to get ready for the this year's winter. Yeah, I know winter is still far ahead, but we want to give them healthy root growth and stuff. Don't want to try to be perfect, basically. So we're going to prune night blooming, not night blooming, orange, excuse me, jasmine of Maid of New Orleans. Maid of New Orleans right there, that one right there, and then we're gonna prune maybe a little bit on the orange jasmine because there are still a lot of flower buds on it. It blooms already, but it's not all of it. So a lot of flower buds still on it, so I'm gonna just do a minor tidy up pruning on that. And then we're gonna do a major pruning on the neem tree since it's growing pretty big. And then we're gonna do I think not a major pruning, but more of a shape tidy up on the white champaca because it's growing really tall right now, and its branch is shooting upward a little bit. It's really bushy, which is that's what I preferred. If you look a few videos back when I first moved it out, it was not as bushy as this one. This one has been doing really well, and there are quite a few flower buds formed already. Let me get closer to it and show you. If you can see right there. See, there are quite a few of them throughout the plant, so but we're gonna cut the top off, so it won't affect it as much, but at the same time, it'll definitely control the growth. I haven't been on a video for a long time because I don't have, didn't have a helper to help me out, but so right now today I grabbed Evan to help me out. So what for first plants we're gonna do, we're gonna prune on is the jasmine Maid of New Orleans. As you can see, I'm not gonna do a heavy pruning on this one because it's still blooming. The reason I'm pruning is that you can see, like, come closer. You can see the flowers buds are forming right here. So these branches I typically don't want to cut off because flower buds still forming. However, there are a lot of flower down there already, and there are a lot of flower buds down there already. So we don't need to, be cheap about cutting things off. I want this to be remain in the cylindrical shape, balloon shape. So if you look from far away, it's kind of out of shape right now. It's growing everywhere. So what we're gonna do is, if any of you guys at home pruning this, the same size of my plants, you can definitely use these for propagation. Okay, so we're gonna use this bucket to collect these propagated branches, later mix with the neem branches and just boil them. The reason I want to boil them is that to keep after you boil the plant leaves and stuff, they do provide a little bit of nitrogen. Of course, after you boil them, you let them cool off and then mix for me, when I mix to the regular water, it'll be 1-to-1. One boiled water of leaves and versus the one regular water. And then let it, sit at least one day and then water your plants with it. It helps your plants. So what we're doing is right now, Evan, if you're gonna go a little further back so they get the whole picture, you see I cut the main branch off, and not the main branch, the one that spike it up. So this one is coming out too, and as you can see, this one has quite a few flowers on it. But still, I'm more into the shape. Look at that. Very beautiful. And you can see there are more flower buds forming right here. So this one could bloom at least like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are probably 8 or more. But we're cutting it off, and this one is sticking out too. So don't feel bad about cutting plants off. Like this one, the flower buds on there too. Remember, the thing about jasmine is that, by the way, it rains right now. It's a little bit rain coming now, but it's okay. So the thing about jasmine is that the more you prune, the better they grow. However, don't over prune. If you over prune, you're gonna kill the plants like everything else. So this side is doing all right. So this one's sticking out. So as you can see, not a major prune. We're just gonna control its shape. So this one's sticking out on the side, as you can see. On this side, I'm gonna come over here. If you look from this side, you notice this one is side heavy. I'm not gonna do too much pruning because it doesn't sticking out too much yet. So we're gonna just cut a little bit off here and there to keep it in shape. And by the way, when I prune these plants, my plants are not poisonous. However, I do advise having a one-hand glove just to hold on the branch, just in case the plant that you are pruning, it's the sap is cause skin irritation. Just use a one glove. So it's a good habit to get into. And Evan could come over this side. As you can see, there are more flowers and flower buds growing on this side, but the shape actually it's not too bad. So gonna cut this leader off so prevent it future poking out. And main thing about jasmine is that the more you prune, the better it grows. And also, this jasmine, it's gonna be blooming season is not over. It's just started, so it'll bloom all entire summer. And right now, kind of stand underneath in my patio because of it's raining right now. It'll bloom all summer, and most of the time I give it a big prune. It's around after it stopped blooming around fall. Give it a big prune and take it out, take it inside. So that's about it for this one. So we got it in a nice shape, control it a little bit, and it will continue to bloom, okay? All right, guys, so next plant we're doing the pruning on is the orange jasmine. We don't, like I say, we don't want to prune too much because you see these flower buds, tons of them around here. And some of them bloomed already. Orange jasmine typically the flowers, they don't last that long. They bloom to give it a few days. They, falls off really quickly and then form seeds. But these guys still haven't bloomed yet. So I'm expecting these guys roughly gonna bloom all together. So it's gonna be like a couple summer back. It's gonna be all everywhere. So these are early bloomers. So we are not gonna prune heavy pruning on here. So we don't want to get rid of flower buds. So what we're doing right now is just small tidy up on this one. So what we're gonna do is that as you guys know, I really don't like branches growing too low. So this one I should have cut off a long time ago, which I didn't. Now I'm coming in, just cut them off right here and control the bottom portion of the plants to make it clean. All right. So just look around and basically feel it. Sometimes they have a new shoots coming out, very soft, like this one. Evan, can you focus in on here, over here? Get the camera over here, right here. This one, can you see this one? Okay, so you see this new growth right here? We do not want it, so we're gonna just rub it off. So that's why often I rub plants off on the side so these new shoots won't come out, and it'll put energy on top instead of focusing down below. All right, just grass. All right, so for orange jasmine, I don't see anything else we need to do, so that's about it. So let's move to the next plant, neem tree. If you see my video back then when I first put the neem tree out, it was very good shape, but now it's still roughly the same shape, but it's just expanded outward. So right now what we're gonna do is go around, just do a major pruning on this one, and we're gonna save all these branches and leaves into the bucket, and then again using it for making a neem tea out of it. Neem tea for watering the plants, not to drink. You really don't want to drink neem stuff. Okay, all right. So start off with a big branch, and don't feel bad. Neem tree, they typically grow fast, and they grow pretty fast. And the main purpose of me planting here is, getting its leaf for plant to use it for watering other plants. So think of this one as a natural growth insecticide. So most of the time when I prune like this, I don't go one branch at a time. I just use my hand, grab. Think of like people getting your hair cut, pole stylists grab the hair, and it's going one chip and one clean cut. It is feel like cutting your hair. Just give it, Evan, right? Getting a good clean cut. So, and so far by just from the growth of this year and last year, I can tell right away neem tree. It's really, really, really nice for the Texas weather. It's a love. It grows a lot faster than what I have in Kansas. So yeah, for the neem plant, just grab and cut. So like this part right here, just grab any tall ones. For those of you who cut hairs before, you should know right away. It's very similar. Just gonna thin out this side. Okay, you can pause it now. So we finished pruning the neem tree. So if you want to rewind the video, you'll see earlier it was a lot bigger than this. So we prune it down, but we did not prune all the way down. That's for the fall season when I want to bring it inside. I still want this to grow more, so it provides us with more leaves and stuff for watering other plants. And to be honest, neem oil costs, it doesn't cost that much, but at the same time, if you have a neem tree, you can just make your own neem stuff. A little bit of saving here and there, so all the saving goes into the funds to buy more plants, something like that. Anyway, so we're done with the neem tree. Let's go to the next one. Next one, now, by the way, I forgot to mention one thing. When you do prune from one plant to another plant, typically, I want you to at least use rubbing alcohol to cleanse your pruner, because sometimes when your plants are sick, you could introduce bacteria from one to another. Now, why didn't I not do it to mine? First, I'm lazy. Second is that most of my plants, I can tell they are very healthy, and I've been doing it for many years, so they're okay. But for just advice, when you do it, just to be on the safe side. Okay, so neem tree, Evan, you want to get a round shot? So show people it's a balloon shape. Let me see if there's new growth down here. I'm gonna rub it off. This branch is coming too low. I'm gonna cut that off. Okay, so you see, Evan, come over here real quick. All these plants, the trunk, I always inspect them over time. They have feeders growing out, so we want to rub them off. So keep this branch down here clean. Of course, if it grows a little bigger, you can still rub it off. But we prefer, I recommend to rub them off early. Okay. Now, all right. There's some down here too. Okay. All right, next move to white Champaca. I think everyone's favorite. So for white Champacas, we're not going to cut that much off. Just the top portion of new growth. Evan, if you want to step up here, like these guys, I will cut them off because it's coming outward. I want to contain them inside. So, wow, look at that, smell that. Wow. Yeah, it's very nice. So especially the new shoots are very nice. Anyway, I'm gonna throw in here. These branches we don't want to grow it too tall, so we're gonna cut these tip off. You can use a pruner or a scissor or just a fingers because these new shoots are very soft. They fall off easily. So keep recording, Evan. All right, so we're gonna go up top now. Just nip it off the leading, what do you call it? There's a name for it. Anyway, but basically just the tip of the new growth. So that way we'll force it to focus down here and put more flower out as it to focus the growth on flower. So you can see if you look closer enough, Evan, if you want to get closer, you see these new flower buds. There are already 3 right there, 4 right here actually, 5. Basically, there are a lot of the flower buds forming right now, so I'm expecting this one to be heavy bloomer this summer as well. And it's this year, so far it has been in the full sunlight, so I don't see it's going to get burned. So far it's doing great. So we're gonna keep it like that. And also, you guys remember earlier when I first moved it out, the leaves and stuff are damaged by wind and stuff. And then I told you guys that it will put out stronger leaves, more heat tolerant and more wind tolerant. Look at all these new leaves. All healthy, there's no damage. Besides, you see the old leaves damaged, and then all the new leaves, so lush. And now these are yellowish green. That means they're getting enough sunlight. If you have planted leaves that's dark green, like you can tell the difference. Like out here, all yellowish green, and then inside you see like more darker green color. Darker green color typically telling you the plant is, like really dark one telling you the plant's not getting enough sunlight. This one is more medium, so it's getting enough sunlight, and because of these blocking the sun, they're still doing fine. And then the good thing about the plants, I told you before, they're yellowing some of the leaves. They want to get rid of some damaged leaf themselves, so sometimes they take care of themselves. We don't need to worry about that. So anyway, back to pruning. So see, some of them are getting pretty high up there. I need to reach over, so I don't want to get it too high. You'll see a lot of here. Give me the camera real quick. Give me the video. So you'll see a lot of these. I don't know if you can see it. The flies in there, the green flies. These are beneficial insects, by the way. They actually looking for like aphids and other soft body, caterpillars and stuff, to inject their. I think these guys inject their eggs, or maybe the other kind, but this kind they are also beneficial insect. I'll put the name there. So when I see tons of those flying around in my plants, I typically just leave them alone. That's another thing about using the insecticide is that you actually kill the beneficial insects. That's why I tend to stick with neem leaves method, and also hydrogen peroxide sometimes, and the baking soda. Anyway, back to pruning. So these guys, we want to cut them off. And once in a while, you see like right here, you see, I'm pretty sure you can't see it, but it's very tiny. It's a lacewing egg. So it's also beneficial insect egg on here. So when you don't use the insecticide, heavy insecticide to kill off beneficial insects, your garden become more of those beneficial insects paradise. You'll see a lot of them around. Okay, that's about it. let's see, 1, 2. Yeah, so got these guys around, and this one too on the side. This one, I am gonna leave this one on here, but this one I'm gonna take it off. So remember another thing about pruning white champaca. These young branches, you can prune them and you can cut them, don't worry about it. However, once the branch turns into like this or darker color like that, you can still prune them, but just be careful. They are, because the white champaca's branch is hollow and there's inside they have a white thing in there. So when you cut them, and if you don't do it good enough, the water will soak in and slowly soak into the entire branch and kills the branch. Okay, all right, that's it for today. I think I've done all the pruning so far. For these guys, my other guys, they are in the ground anyway, so I'm just gonna, first year in the ground, I typically let it grow as much as possible, so the roots gonna be aggressive down there, getting them ready for the winter. However, if they do well over this winter, and then the next winter, next spring or next summer, I'll do a little pruning, and then give it a couple winters down. They're still doing well. Then next time when I prune, I give it a good, heavy prune. So right now, yeah, white champaca, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time. All right, take care.